Title: The story the media tried to bury in Nigeria. Subtitle: How public funds, famine relief, elections, and truth were silenced. They said the elections were free. They said the famine relief funds reached every starving village. They said the money had been spent. But behind the polished headlines and smiling officials, a different story was being written, one of hidden bank accounts, one of ghost relief programs, one of elections designed not for the people, but by the people in power. And today we dig it out. This is the story the media tried to bury in Nigeria. Government after government have pledged to fight corruption, fix elections, feed the hungry, empower youth. Yet each year the headlines shift, while the problems stay the same. Behind the scenes, powerful networks of money, influence, and media spin. The press, meant to be a watchdog, was increasingly muzzled. Stories of high-level fraud and electoral manipulation were quietly replaced with lighter fare. Entertainment scandals, celebrity news, sports. See how media self-censorship is a factor. In this story, we follow 4 threads. 1. Massive money laundering and illicit financial flows. 2. Famine relief and humanitarian aid. Misuse at the highest level. 3. Electoral manipulation and the co-option of citizens. 4. How the media was bought, silenced, or diverted, and how the truth still survives. A. Money laundering and illicit flows. But that recovery is only the tip of the iceberg. Many investigations show that public funds meant for infrastructure and health vanish, replaced by shell companies, offshore accounts, luxury properties. Journalists have documented how numbered accounts and hidden beneficial owners are used to channel money away from public view. Example: in one case in Kogi State, stories emerged that government cash was being moved into media houses in return for favorable coverage. The actual corruption scandal disappeared under a wave of spin. These high-level flows aren't just financial. They shape politics, elections, and national survival. B. Famine relief and humanitarian fraud. In the northeast of Nigeria, famine and malnutrition have been relentless. Yet reports reveal that humanitarian aid resources, highly visible and funded by foreign donors, were diverted. In one documented case, ready-to-use therapeutic food meant for starving children ended up on market stalls, and solar-powered lights meant for clinics were bought by politicians for their homes. These revelations rarely made front pages, because when they did, investigations were suppressed, whistleblowers transferred or silenced, and the narrative switched to progress instead of accountability. C. Electoral manipulation and citizen control. Votes are bought. Ballot boxes are stuffed. Fake youth empowerment schemes ward off criticism by promising jobs for votes. Media houses are paid to publish positive stories about certain candidates. Alternative voices are threatened. See how propaganda techniques continue in peacetime. And when citizens protest, when they raise their voices, the mechanism of suppression is already in motion. Social media bans, broadcaster warnings, arrests of journalists. For instance, Nigerian broadcasters were ordered to stop using Twitter after it had proven instrumental during protests like #EndSARS. The story becomes bigger. The system is not broken. It's built. D. The media's role bought, silenced, or diverted. Journalists who pursued financial crime stories have been charged under the Cybercrimes, Prohibition, Prevention, etc. Act 2015 for reporting on corruption. At least 4 were charged recently for exposing fraud involving major bank executives. Meanwhile, the same media outlets publish positive features, ignoring the darker stories of misgovernance and manipulation. So the headlines remain clean, but underneath the rot spreads. Consequence: the poor grow poorer. Relief doesn't reach them. Famine recurs. Elections lose legitimacy. Citizens lose faith. Money meant for schools, hospitals, roads goes into private jets and mansions. Media, which should expose this, becomes part of the machine. The consequence: trust erodes. A people begins to believe that nothing changes because the system is rigged. Yet there are cracks in the wall. Whistleblowers leak documents. Independent journalists publish online. Citizen activists record and stream what happens. The truth, though buried, keeps resurfacing. For example, A journalist arrested for investigating misuse of public funds triggered international condemnation. The legacy is twofold. 1. The officials continue to act as though impunity is guaranteed. 2. But the people are waking up. Social media, new platforms, independent outlets are exposing what was hidden. So yes, the story was buried. But the seeds of exposure have taken root. When money vanishes, when ballots are bought, when famine returns, these are not failures. They are designs. But for every design, there is a breaker. The journalist who refuses to stop asking. The citizen who films from their phone. The whistleblower who leaks the files. This is our story now. Not just the story the media tried to bury, but the story we won't let die. Because history doesn't repeat itself. We do. Subscribe for more untold stories of corruption, courage, and resistance. Watch, share, and comment. What hidden truth should we uncover next? If you found this story urgent, share it. Comment below. What story of hidden injustice should we uncover next?